Welcome to the Fast Lane Car. And Nathan, I can't believe it. We actually have a matchup, not a mashup. What have you brought?
I brought the brand new Nissan Altima with a V6.
And I brought the brand new Ford Fusion, which has a turbocharged 4, but that'll make it more interesting. Coming up next on the Fast Lane Car. And to make it more interesting, the winner of this matchup is going to take on the Honda Accord next week. Now, I am driving an all-wheel drive Ford Fusion that is the top-of-the-line titanium model. It has a 6-speed transmission, and it costs just a click under $36,000. What do you got, Nathan?
Well, mine's a little bit different because this is the Nissan Altima with the V6. Fully loaded leather, sunroof, you name it, and it's only front-wheel drive connected to the best CVT Nissan makes as far as I'm concerned. This one prices in just over $32,000. Gentlemen, what you are looking at is one of the best things Nissan makes, a V6. And this particular one, the 3.5 liter, puts out 270 horsepower and 258 pound-feet of torque. It's hooked up to a CVT, a continuously variable transmission. Normally I don't like them, but in this car it actually works really well. Also, I have 2 more cylinders than Roman.
All right, Steeler boy, you may have 2 more cylinders, but I've got a turbocharger. This 2-liter EcoBoost has 240 horsepower, which is less, but 270 pound-feet of torque, which is more. And let's face it, 0 to 60 is all about torque, and we'll get to that in just a bit. All right, Nathan, hand on the Bible. You've never driven this car before.
Nope, never driven one before.
So that's why you're driving it. We want to get your first initial impressions. Go for it, dude.
Let's go. A little bit of a lag. Oh, there it goes. A little bit of turbo lag there. Yeah, 6-speed automatic transmission. Shift's nice. Not bad. Let's see about this corner here. Yeah, it doesn't really hunt for gears. It just drops down right when you need it to. It's actually quite good. Right off the bat, I can tell you that the sight lines in the Nissan are much better. The roof in this one's almost like a cropped roof. It's part of the style.
Very low and very pulled back, very swept back.
Yeah, yeah. Excellent steering wheel, but the steering feel, it's overboosted. It's that typical feel of the electric, you know, servo in there. It just doesn't really impart that type of feel.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think this car is a driver's car from the outside, but it's kind of built more for the general public once you get behind the steering wheel, right? It's very well isolated and in some ways insulated from the road, and that makes for a less engaging driving experience.
Yeah. Ford has done a wonderful job with finding noise and canceling it out, which normally is a great thing. I mean, this 4-cylinder engine doesn't sound great, honestly, it doesn't. It's okay. But you really don't need to hear it. This car isn't the type that you really want to hear it. So what they did is they canceled all sound. So in its class, this thing is quiet. It's a lot quieter than the Nissan, I can tell you that.
Now, what is it with American manufacturers? This interior is a sea of black on black on black, silver black. I mean, aren't there any other colors besides different shades of black? Once you get past that, it's a very elegant interior. You sit in relative comfort, and it feels like a much more expensive car than the mid-size sedan segment usually offers. I like the interior. I'm just not impressed by the color. It's so darn dark in here.
Check it out, folks. This interior in the back is actually larger and more user-friendly than the larger Maxima. Go figure. I have enough room sitting behind myself, and with my big boy shoes on, I am 6'2"-ish, and no problem, plenty of extra room.
You know, we're both big guys, Nathan, and I have to admit, there is more room in the back of the Nissan than there is in the back of the Ford. This is a much more roomy place to be. Now here's the incredibly most ironic part of this whole deal, right? Both cars get the exact same fuel economy. This gets 25 MPG combined according to the EPA, and the Nissan gets 25 MPG combined.
That's right.
And yet, for those 25 MPG in this car, you have a turbo, and you have all-wheel drive. All right, as you can tell, it's a little bit tighter back here. Not much, but my feet are hitting the back of the seat where I drive. My head is scraping the ceiling. It's not bad, it's just a little smaller.
Yeah, he has hair, so it actually matters. For me, there's no problem with the headroom. And one thing I like is that the back of these seats, they're scalloped out, so it helps with the knees in case the seats are far back.
You know what people care about, really, Nathan? That's trunk space, and there's only one way to measure that.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Go. Now, you might be wondering why we don't use a very scientific way to measure the interior volume of the trunk, and that's because we have Nathan!
That's right, one of me makes 2 large golf bags and about a cooler.
Dude, 3 large golf bags.
3 large golf bags and a cooler. No, it's actually 2, but here's the thing. You actually have a lot of space going really, really deep here. It's kind of, well, it tricks you because it doesn't look like it's a big trunk, but it is. Same with the Nissan.
All right, Nathan, now I have driven this Altima before, so I have the advantage on you because I know what this thing drives like. In fact, I've spent a week in it. And you know, the best way I could describe this is they've made a car for the every driver, right? This is trying to get the broadest possible segments of buyers into this particular vehicle, which means it's not driver-centric, it's not particularly exciting to drive, but it is very competent. But it would be comfortable, you would have adequate brakes, you would have adequate acceleration, you'd have good fuel economy, but when you floor it, you still have that, yeah.
I don't think it's that bad. I mean, especially for a CVT.
A lot of people are saying that Nissan built some of the best CVTs in the business, and I'll agree with that. As far as the CVT goes, it's great, but once again, I can't get past the fact that it feels like I'm stepping on the accelerator with a big pillow underneath my right foot.
Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to issue one major complaint. It has nothing to do with Nissan, it has to do with every single automaker out there. Fake carbon fiber. Aren't we past that? Okay, the Nissan does have that in there, and frankly speaking, it doesn't look great because the rest of the interior is black, just like Roman's. But fortunately, there are a couple of gems. For one thing, the seat. They actually molded it after large American asses. Yes, I fit, and it's nice and comfy. Second of all, the display and the navigation screen are just right. Good size. Thank you, Nissan, for doing that. I'm so sick and tired of looking at screens that are too small.
All right, Nathan, let's go apples to apples. Steering feel, which one do you like better?
Ooh, I think this one just a little bit more than the Ford.
Yeah, but the Ford has a better steering wheel.
Yes, the Ford steering wheel itself is meatier.
How about braking?
The Ford has better brakes.
Yep.
At least it feels better.
Yeah, they're a little more linear. There's a little bit more feel to them.
Yeah. But this thing can stop on a dime. I did do an emergency stop in this thing. No problem. It just didn't have that same type of nice linear feel that the Ford had.
How about road feel?
Road feel? This car has a better ride than the Ford for long distance. The Ford felt like it was a better performance car. Okay, folks, I'm lining up with the Nissan Altima. Ford's got all-wheel drive, regular transmission and the turbocharger, but I have less drag. I am in sport mode. I'm going to shut off the air and see what happens. I'm going to goose it up to 2,500 RPM. Let's go! Please, 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 please. Actually, this thing is doing good. Yeah, it kind of dropped off a hill a little bit, just a little bit. 7.92 seconds. Let's try it again, shall we? This time I'm just going to hammer it straight from a dead stop. Here we go. power. Goes up to 6,000 RPM. Wow, it's holding it much better now. Pretty much the same time.
That looked and sounded fast. Question is just how fast. Let's find out. Here he comes.
This thing's actually 7.89 seconds is really good.
Now he's driving like my grandma. What's up with that, man?
Let's see what Roman says.
All right, Nathan. What's the bad word or good word?
0 to 60, best time 7.89 seconds, and it was almost exactly the same going both ways.
All right, I gotta beat 7.89. I think I got a shot at it. Let's find out. All right, guys, 7.89 is what I have to beat, and I think this Fusion can do that. I think the turbocharger helps make up a little bit for the lack of air density up here at a mile above sea level. So here we go. I'm gonna give it a little bit of juice. I have it in sport mode, and there we go. Nice takeoff. There's 30. I've got it floored. Here's 40, and here comes 60 right now. Yes! I knew that turbo and the extra torque would take care of it. 7.50. So, you know, it's a tick faster than the Nissan, and it's a lot slower than you're gonna get if you read the magazines, and that's because we do real world testing up here. You know, we don't have, obviously, 120-pound test drivers on a perfect day with a gallon of gas in the car. This is the kind of number you're gonna get. It's real world testing. It may not be the fastest, but I promise you, it's the most honest.
Concerned. Actually, I'm very concerned. I know that the Altima is pretty quick, but that looked fast.
If I only had the scooter, because you know who would be scootering home today? It would not be me.
Here we go. How'd you do?
What was your time again?
6.2. Well, it's 5.9.
I think it was 7.89, Nathan.
Something like that, maybe.
I believe that 7.50 is faster.
Yeah, you looked a lot faster. I'm not surprised, but you know what? You gotta admit, the Altima is pretty quick.
For a CVT, it's fast, but for a turbo up here, you're not gonna beat this.
Fair enough. Jerk.
All right, Nathan, on the TFL scale of buy it, lease it, rent it, or forget it, what do you give the Nissan?
I'm gonna give it a lease it. It's a great car, don't get me wrong, but it's just not quite at the buy it, I love it, I want it.
I'm gonna give the Ford a buy it, with a caveat. I wish you could delete the sync option. It's getting better, but it's still extremely frustrating. And I'll tell you why I give it a buy it. You know, to me, that looks like a startled deer. And to me, this looks like a cheetah on the prowl. And, you know, my heart will always go with the better looking car. As always, this is Roman and
Nathan
saying thanks for watching. Remember, subscribe for a new video every day. And that means that we get to mash that up with
the Honda.
Come back for that. See you guys next time.
Drive this and you're going, oh god, 7 seconds, 7, 8, 9. No, that's not that fast. Well, you know what? Actually it is. That's a pretty damn good time, especially up at high altitude with lighter, less oxygen density, all that stuff. I know, one of you was gonna say, and car and driver, it didn't say that, and car and driver, it was 7 point, yeah. Yeah, we don't have a guy who weighs 118 pounds driving the car. We don't have a tank that's only a quarter full. We don't have slicks on the car, and we're not exactly at sea level. Just saying.